Hey guys, today we're going to analyze an episode of the amazing world of Gumball. This episode discusses mental conditions, and based on the episode's title, The Downer, which, as the name suggests, then, let's go for the analysis. The episode begins with Gumball's family knocking on his door early in the morning, asking him to do everything he promised them. After they enter his room and ask why he doesn't want to do anything, Gumball says he won't do anything because he's in a bad mood and can't even explain why he's feeling this way. Then, Richard, as always, says something rather interesting.
You know what I do when I'm feeling down? I pretend to be happy till I find that I am.
And you might think that he just said something silly as usual, but no, it's actually true. Smiling essentially provides an escape from the pain you feel, indicating that something is wrong because smiling is inherently a good thing. Consequently, if you're smiling, it's because you're feeling good. The act of smiling brings balance to your body and mind, acknowledging life as a playful experience. However, don't forget that pretending to feel something you don't may be necessary for a while, but doing so all the time is exhausting and can lead to repressed feelings or outbursts at inopportune moments. Then, Gumball wishes everyone would disappear, and to me, this is the moment that could trigger the onset of depression, as he finds himself literally alone at home and in the world. He even destroys a Lego city to vent his feelings. When he steps on the figurine and it bothers him a bit, he makes an exaggerated decision to flush the figurine down the toilet. This shows that you can commit many injustices when you're feeling bad, and your judgment will be affected by your emotions. When you don't see things from a more rational or coherent perspective, you might end up taking out your anger on something or someone. In this case, his taking out his anger on the figurine and somehow getting hurt by it shows that when you release your anger, the consequences can come back to you in a big way.
Being in a bad mood isn't as fun as I thought.
He thinks of watching television to escape his bad mood and hopes to see something positive. However, as we know, television is not the best source of happiness, especially when it comes to the news.
Approximately 46% of the lakes in America are too polluted for fish, aquatic life, or swimming, and that figure is expected to rise in the coming minutes. And now for the weather.
Well, today will be great, if you don't mind extreme acid rain and high smog levels.
Television is often a source of negativity and disaster.
You unhappy with the way you look? You should be. With our shampoo, you can desperately try to attain unreachable standards of digitally altered beauty.
This part of the TV show has several social critiques, one of which targets unrealistic beauty standards that exist only through Photoshop. This drives people to chase after products to achieve ideals they will never reach. It creates a cycle where you buy products to achieve an ideal constructed in your mind, fail to reach it, and then buy the same products again to try to attain that beauty standard. This leads you to think something is wrong with you because if even the products can't make you perfect, then there must be something inherently wrong with how you were born. But this is a big lie. You should be who you are. The expectations others have of you or the standards they impose say nothing about who you are. Therefore, other people's expectations should not define what you can become. Just like you, they are only people, and their opinions don't hold more value. The weight of their opinions says more about them than about you. For me, true beauty lies beyond what the eyes can see. We just need to look beyond the superficial. Later, Gumball starts singing, acknowledging the power of music, which can brighten your day or not, depending on what you listen to. At first, he notices everything around him from a positive perspective, from his body to objects, giving positive meanings to these common things in our lives. However, as the song progresses, this positive view of life starts to fade, and he begins to see everything from a negative perspective. This reflects how our minds work. We like to assign meaning to everything, even trivial things. When you start looking at things negatively, they continue to appear negative.
Maybe food will fill the gap in my soul.
Gumball then decides to cook, but he makes enough food for his entire family. He finds himself alone, indicating that his wish to be alone was just momentary. This might symbolize a cry for help that goes unnoticed, with no one there to hear or understand what he's going through. Shortly after, Gumball goes outside and realizes that he is not just alone at home, but also in the world. This could be another reference to the feeling of emptiness and isolation people experience when facing psychological problems.
Actually, Alan, if you heard that, never mind. I'd rather it was just me left in the world than just me and you.
As the episode progresses, we see that Gumball is in an inner turmoil. He doesn't want to have this negative view of things, but a part of him keeps attributing bad meanings to everything. This scene likely illustrates his internal struggle, wanting to distance himself from this bad mood since he realizes he's starting to take it to an extreme level. Until a shadow starts to grow over the city. We can interpret this in many ways, but for me, it might be the onset of depression.
Why should I be afraid of you? Oh yeah, that's why.
where you start to feel a bit bad, but if you let it grow, it takes over your whole world, or it can be interpreted as a feeling of emptiness. But that's exactly what happened. All that darkness took over Gumball's world, and now he finds himself completely alone.
It's a sofa. So maybe the darkness is all in my head.
I don't quite agree with this phrase. I think the darkness is always inside us and not out in the world. I find it very insightful to start blaming yourself for things and, most importantly, to see how you perceive things. You attribute meaning to things. They don't have inherent meaning. According to these meanings, we can make our world good or bad. Reality is what it is, but it is our thoughts that make us suffer.
Oh, that's it. When you're feeling down, you need to try and get back into the swing of things.
When Gumball decides to remember the people and good things he had before the darkness, that's when he starts to see the world again, with all the people he had forgotten. Here we can see that, in reality, he had people around him the whole time, but he just didn't see them. He was alone in his own mind, showing that loneliness exists more within you than outside. And as soon as you allow yourself to see things, they appear to you. At that moment, Gumball created his own light, and with it, he was able to dispel the darkness. But he didn't escape this loneliness alone. He had help, especially from his father's words at the beginning of the episode, like wisdom passed down. He needed the help of others to get out of it, but only he could recognize that there were other people besides him who could help. You can't heal someone who doesn't want to be healed, because part of the healing process is the desire to be healed. Some ancient philosophies highly value friendship as one of the main values of life because, after all, what would the world be without other people? The exchanges wouldn't be the same, the landscapes wouldn't be the same, and you are who you are because many people came before you. This episode showed me that our greatest enemy is ourselves when we rely entirely on our feelings to perceive reality, and that there are more things likely to scare us than to actually defeat us because we suffer more in imagination than in reality. This is exactly what happened to Gumball. He suffered more in his imagination than in reality throughout the episode. He just made things worse than they appeared to be because he woke up in a bad mood. With the power of imagination, Gumball stopped seeing everyone around him, believed he was alone in the world ungratefully, and stopped enjoying the good things he had that day due to an unreal and incoherent feeling, letting basic survival notions take over his rational mind. As the darkness was chasing him, he ran, but he learned that running is pointless because the monsters you create are as relentless as you.